In the last episode, it was incredibly short, and I talked about Caesar's Legion and New Vegas. In this episode, I'm going to talk about why I got hooked on Fallout. Fallout 3 was introduced to me about a couple of months ago, around the holiday season, and by Matt Goldsman. He gave me a Xbox 360 that he repaired, and I went out and got Fallout 3 on his recommendation. And wow, I was instantly hooked, because here was a scenario that very likely could happen at any time. It was just a matter of people's natures towards each other. And this is still very capable of happening, and I found it kind of sick that, the situation in Japan occurred very shortly after I played this game. Now, of course, I don't believe that has anything to do with it. There's no correlation, but, after dealing with radiation in a video game, a lot of the times I'll take what I learn in a video game, or take what happens in a video game, and think about it very often for long periods of time and apply it to my life. I live my real life, through gaming as well, even when I'm not recording or just playing for pleasure. And so Fallout 3, at a certain point would somewhat bum me out, actually. I would have to stop playing because I would get headaches from just being depressed at how much this could happen and the radiation that's already occurring in Japan. It was ridiculous. And so, I still enjoyed Fallout 3, but I never enjoyed it the same way. And I never enjoyed it like I do Pokemon, because Pokemon is a completely fictional-based story. It's something that I would like to be real. Hopefully in the future, through technology, could be real. But it's nothing serious on the degree that there's actual people who do this in my reality. And also, it's not a reflection of what goes on. So, with the Brotherhood of Steel, and also the Enclave, we had the American government versus some rebels who were divided, yes, but overall were looking for the archiving of technology. So that was very interesting how you got to make these choices, and I love how it would irrevocably change the game for you. I became kind of addicted to seeing what happens when, and so I would do a lot of tests like that. But one of the biggest things I found satisfying about Fallout was the fact that it was a reflection of my reality. So if I was really angry, and I still do this now, if I get really angry, a lot of the times I'll go into Fallout 3, New Vegas now, because that's just what I'm playing. But more or less, I would go into Fallout 3, pick up my super sledge, and go all out on some Enclave baddies. It was very satisfying to know, or to be told, that this was the remnants of the American government. And it was portrayed very well, I believe. Bethesda did a great job at portraying what the American government probably would do in a time of apocalyptic fallout. They'd be working to keep the technology to themselves, still try to control everything like the water source. Not much would change. So I thought they did a beautiful job in programming that. And so I really like Fallout for that. I often will go into that game just to take out my rage, because it's reflective on society for real, and some of the shortcomings that we humans fall into. Yeah, that will be crazy. A lot of people think about that all the time. I mean, it's nothing new. It's not a new topic to discuss. It's not even a new thought to be thought. It's been thought about and pondered for eons. The idea of the end of humanity, whether it's brought on by ourselves or extraterrestrial means. They also touched upon that in some DLC, but I never looked at that. The Mothership Delta. Mothership Zeta is really what I'm trying to say here. And I never got that DLC. I only got Point Lookout, I believe Point Lookout, and Brotherhood of Steel. Or not Brotherhood, but Broken Steel. But not even looking at something as sensational as aliens coming and starting a great war. Just asteroids. You know, there are thousands and thousands, probably on the level of billions if you look at the whole universe, of extraterrestrial space rocks and objects out there that could be absorbed into our gravity and easily take us out. Wouldn't be too hard. It's not like we have an asteroid defense system. But something natural easily could take us out, just as anything supernatural could as well. I think we've got much more of a likely chance of being taken out by natural disasters that we may have provoked. This is something I've always been keeping a close eye on. It sickens me. Every day I look at my phone, and I've got the Weather Channel app that updates you on the degrees and what you have to look out for that day, UV index, stuff like that. But every day in the summer, it's been giving me warnings about pollution. It's been giving me health hazard updates that don't go outside and do too strenuous an activity because, well, we humans, we've destroyed the atmosphere so much that if you try to breathe it, what you're going to get is more or less smog, not healthy oxygen, and that's no good for your lungs. So be careful out there, okay? No hard physical activities in the sun. And sure, that's best for avoiding heat exhaustion. But when the Weather Channel is telling you that you can't go outside or be careful when you're out there because of a pollution advisory, there's some shit wrong. And so we may even, I don't know if it would get to that level, if we would be that wide asleep. I'd hope not. I'd really hope not, because my generation is switching into the position of being in charge. Of course, there's all the old fucks who are still in office now who don't know what the shit they're saying. Or actually, they do. But at the standpoint of an American public, it doesn't look like they know what they're talking about. But when you consider it's not the American public's benefit that they're looking after, but that of the banks, then they know exactly what they're saying, and it makes plenty sense. So it would be interesting if we ended up suffocating ourselves in our mass population and lack of forestation. Might occur. Once again, I bring hemp to the table. It could be the crop, or it will be the crop, if legalized, to save us all. It grows so fast. It grows like a weed. I mean, if you didn't know, from getting its nickname weed, it didn't come from anywhere. It grows like a weed. And the amount of oxygen that it could produce would be astounding. So I won't get into a large cannabis rant now because I've got a lot of things to discuss as far as that goes, and we've only got a short amount of time until I beat this boss, so don't want to get into too large of a rant now. But yeah, Fallout, I really enjoy it for the ways that it allows me to do things that normally I would love to do, like decapitate my world leaders, but couldn't do because of the consequences. Sorry guys, but my life is too good to live in order to throw it all away for one sledgehammer to some stupid politician's dome. It wouldn't be solving anything, it would just be taking out a puppet. And overall, my frustrations would just be more in knowing that I hadn't solved the damn thing. So really, I do more damage to the American government by bad-mouthing them, yellow journalism, and mudslinging on a daily basis in Pokemon videos than I do taking a sledgehammer to insert current president's name here. Because they're all the same, Democrat or Republican, it doesn't change. But anyway, politics aside, I do apologize if politics sometimes annoy you, but they get on my mind all the time, and not for the reasons of bullshit argument, but just for the fact that they're holding us back, they're destroying our population, and I hate to see my people suffer this way because of fucking corporations. So, next round, we'll be taking on Battle Royale.